Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Well, I'm coming at you with another poker recap video. I know, I haven't been able to do as many as I would like, but my buddy Bill is in town, so we decided that we were going to go out and play some cards over at the Orleans, and I actually got to do something I'd never done before. For the first time ever, I played H.O.R.S.E. Horribly, but I still did it. So, hey, try new things, right? The Orleans had a 12 p.m. $75 horse tournament, or $80 horse tournament. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're just a Hold'em person, but H.O.R.S.E. stands for Hold'em, Omaha, Raz, 7-card stud, and then the E is 8 or better. And what essentially that means is you have all the games are limit, but you have limit Hold'em, you have limit Omaha 8 or better, you have limit Raz, you have limit 7-card stud, and then you have limit 7-card stud 8 or better. So those are the 5 games that you will play. As you guys know, I'm pretty solid with my Hold'em play, but I'm really not that good at Hold'em when it's the limit variety. I haven't played much limit in a lot of years. Ever since I really first started playing poker at the casino, I did play limit back in the day before there was really any kind of no limit in Arizona. Also, before I had a big enough bankroll to play with no limit. So I did play some 3-6 and some 4-8 limit. But I have not played limit Hold'em since then. Also, I really haven't played any limit with the exception of a little bit of Omaha 8 or better limit. When I was starting to play that about a year and a half ago, I was playing a lot of 4-8 Omaha 8 or better. But that was the last that I played limit. So I knew it was going to be interesting, to say the least. But I wanted to do it just because it was something new. And you know, I knew with my buddy Bill in town, he's a big limit player, especially Omaha 8 or better, and he likes Raz and he likes 7-card stud, so that tournament's perfect for him. So I said, you know what, he's in town, let's do it. So of course my ass didn't go to bed until super late, so I didn't get up until super late. So I was a little worried that I wasn't even going to make the tournament. But I gave them a call when I was on my way, and they said that they had plenty of seats, or that they just opened up a new table. I was about 10 minutes away. So they said they still had 6 seats open, should be fine. So we get there, about 30 minutes late, mind you, 2 blind rounds late, thinking that I'll have no problem, I'll get into the tournament, whatever. Well, I get there, and apparently all the seats have been sold. So now I'm put on a list to see if they're going to open up another table. Like, finally we do open up another table, but now it's been almost an hour. So really the smart thing would have been to not even play the tournament, period. Because by the time I even got into the tournament, the blinds had gone up to 300, 600, which when you start a hand, I mean, with the tournament with 7,000 chips, 300, 600 with a $100 bring-in and 7-card stud 8 or better doesn't last very long. I ended up, actually my first 3 hands I got when I finally got in the tournament were 7-card stud straight. Didn't play any. Well, I played the one, simply called the bring in. Actually, I was low card, so I had to bring it in. And called a raise with ace 3-3, if I'm not mistaken. But never improved. Called 2 bets and finally ended up just mucking, knowing that my threes weren't going to hold up. Then 2 hands later, it went to 7-card stud 8 or better. And I realized how much I've gotten in the habit of remembering Hold'em hands, and even Omaha to a little bit. But it's so much more difficult trying to remember the play-by-play for 7-card stud or Raz. Because not only do you have to remember how your board plays out, which is now 7 cards, you also have to remember another person's 7 cards and possibly multiple people's 7 cards. So I apologize, this being my first time I've ever done a breakdown for anything more than Hold'em or Omaha. I do not remember exactly how my board as well as the other person's board played out. Um, I do remember that this was 7 card stud, 8 or better. I do remember that my starting hand was ace, tray, 8 with the tray showing, ace, 8 under. Um, I then pulled, mind you, I called the bring in. I then pulled a jack, another jack, which then now I'm on Fifth Street. That brought me to, so I had a flush draw as well. So I still got an 8-3 ace low draw. I had a pair of jacks with a flush draw, if I'm not mistaken. Turn card hit a 5. So now I'm, I'm sorry, 6th Street hit a 5. So now I'm 4 to the flush, 4 to actually having a low, which, at this point is an ace, 3, 5, 8. So all I need is any low card in there that doesn't pair me, and I've got a decent low, preferably a deuce, and any heart, I pull a flush. I've got a pair of jacks at this point, so I'm hoping whatever my river card is, it'll, pay me off decently. Problem is when you're playing 300, 600, and at this point, I had about 5,000 in chips, that goes away pretty quickly. The first couple of blind rounds, 300, then you go to the, first couple of betting rounds of 300, then you go to the betting rounds of 600, and the entire time I'm check calling the whole way down, and none of them get there. I end up hitting like a queen or a king on the river, so I end up having a pair of jacks. My low doesn't get there, and the guy ended up scooping the whole pot with 2 pair. That's all he had. He just had 2 pair. So it wasn't even that great of a hand. No low ended up coming for either one of us. So that was essentially the one hand I got to play, to be quite honest. That hand took me down to probably $2,000. Like 1,800. So I essentially got to play one $80 hand of 7 card stud, 8 or better. So like 2 hands later, and mind you, I had gotten a few hands in between there, but I mean, it was either bring it in and fold, or literally the 5 or 6 hands that I got to play of 7 card stud straight, I got hands that would have been perfect for 7 card stud 8 or better, and then the X amount of hands that I got to play 7 card stud 8 or better would have been great 7 card stud straight